Reactors, welcome to Champagne Secrets Reacts, where we react to all the goings on that be goings on. And today, what's going on is part 4 of this series that we've been doing on the Ashley Barnes saga. And if you're just coming in and haven't watched any of the rest of the videos, Ashley Barnes is a 17-year-old TikTok influencer, I want to say, who has recently gone viral by the many of young influencers who she invited over and introduced them to a drawer of items that would probably make most adults blush. We're talking about toys, pills, gummies, and apparently, allegedly, according to the testimony that we've listened to, as if we're listening to grand jury subpoenas for a racketeering case, these young people are stating that it was done all for the purpose of getting them under the influence so they could be assaulted. But I have some questions, so we're going to have to take it away from these children, and I need to talk to the parents, because where were the parents when a simple collaboration turned into coercion? Where were her parents as a 17-year-old? The parents of the victims, did those parents know they were going to a place where there wouldn't be any parents involved? And better yet, did they care? Because how are we really preparing our teens to handle a society where fame can be instantaneous? How are we preparing them emotionally, mentally, and even sexually? How are we preparing them to set boundaries, to understand consent, to pay attention to red signs, red flags, and understanding when they're in a dangerous situation? It really makes us ask, what is the price that we're willing to pay? Or what is the price that we're willing to allow our children to pay for views and likes? Quote unquote success. Because that's really what that equals to. Because if we're going to teach them that influence is power, baby, we better also be teaching them how to wield it responsibly. Without guidance, they're learning by watching the mistakes of others. And we saw where some of that got some of us. Sometimes that lesson comes at a devastating cost. But as parents, as leaders, as mentors, it is on us to show them how to channel that power into purpose and not peril. Where were the adult figures in this situation? This video, which is going to be about an hour, is going to make about 4 hours of young people coming forward talking about how they were victimized by one 17-year-old, allegedly. And my question is, where are the parents? Where were the parents? This should be a wake-up call to all of us, because 4 hours of testimony, baby, means 4 hours of warning signs that we chose not to see. So parents, y'all, this one is on us, because it's time to reclaim responsibility before the next generation pays the price. Somehow, we got to figure out how to swap likes for lessons, clicks for conversations, and fame for foundations. Because are these children pouring this much effort into their education, into learning how to mature? Because your gifts will get you to the door. Your gifts may even get you through the door, but it's your character that's going to keep you there. And how can we expect these young people to have character if we've never taught them what character is, what good character looks like, and what happens when character goes bad as a consequence of our actions? Pour your thoughts below in the comments and let's start a real conversation, because this is crazy.
Champagne secrets on your screen, where every vid's a gorgeous dream. Reactions full of light and fun, empowerment for everyone.
Hi guys, a lot of you have been waiting patiently for this, and honestly, so have I. So here's my story of me and my ex-girlfriend. Me and this influencer started dating in March of 2024. I'm not sure if you guys remember, but early on in our relationship, there was a crush series. If I'm being completely honest, none of it was true. The things she said, the dates we went on, they were all pre-planned and we knew exactly what we were doing. It was all her idea. I just said yes because it was her platform. It was her idea. I didn't want to be like, no, you can't do that. As the crush series came out, my face has been getting leaked, and it was that time where I wasn't showing my face on the internet. I wanted to stay hidden. I never really did want to be on the internet. It got to a point where people started making accounts, editing my face to make me look disgusting and just not how I actually look. The accounts are out. I got depressed. She really didn't do anything about it. She would always say, oh, just give it time, it'll go away. Which, yes, she was right, but in the moment, you're not really thinking about that. You're thinking, I just want to get out and I need somebody here that will support me the whole way through, and she wasn't really there for me. So fast forward to like mid-July, she goes to this party and there's alcohol and there's smoking involved. I don't do any of that. I don't want to personally, if you do it, that's you, that's your personal choice. But personally, I don't do that. I don't really want to ruin my body at such a young age or ever. So going back to this party, she's there, she meets this girl. I don't know who it is, but I find out that they kissed. And I didn't really know what to do, but I forgave her. So our relationship continues, and fast forward to October 2024. In October 24, she goes to the same party, but a different reason. That night, I was having a sleepover with my friends that I haven't seen in a while because she isolated me and trapped me from all of my friends and my family. I didn't really get to spend much time with my friends, including my family, and I honestly didn't know how to get out, and I just thought, oh, this is a normal relationship. This is what we're supposed to be doing. I don't know for sure 100% what happened at this party, but I do know, again, there was drinking involved and drugs. Again, I don't do any of that. Me and this influencer hangs out the next day. I got told what happened at this party. She tells me that there was this girl there and they got together and that it was more than just a kiss. Recently, I've been in contact with the girl from the party and I found out all of this is a lie. I found out that she lied about the situation and the just stuff in general that happened at the party. Again, I forgive her for this incident. Oh, and by the way, both of these times I found out she cheated, she accused me of cheating too, which just isn't true. I stay with her, we stay together. Fast forward to December 2024. Me and my best friend have been friends for 11 years. We go back to preschool, we have great memories together, and I will love her forever. This influencer tried to break me and my best friend apart because she was jealous of our relationship that we had together. Me and my best friend ended up not talking for 5 months after this incident. After me and my best friend had a friend breakup, I got severely depressed and no longer wanted a future here. Okay, sorry for the change of scenery. Melina needed to go to work. Anyways, after me and my best friend are no longer friends anymore, things kind of started getting like more. I started therapy because obviously I didn't want a future, but I did tell my mom that I needed therapy because I needed help. Also, just by the way, if you're ever feeling that way, please tell an adult. You can get help and you can get better. Throughout this 5 months, obviously I still missed my best friend and I thought about her daily. So moving forward to the LA trip, if you watched other influencers' TikToks about this trip, you guys will know. So if you don't, I'll sum it up. Basically, I was forced to kiss 2 other people at the Airbnb we were staying at for the glow house party. I was super uncomfortable myself and weirded out by the fact that my girlfriend was okay with me kissing somebody else. As Melina said in her video, she got off on this. I'm not going to say anything more about the party because I feel like that was already discussed in other videos. This creator would always tell me to dress more masculine because I would look too feminine one day and too masculine the other day, and she would always tell me to be more masculine, but I'm still a girl, and let's talk about money. This creator makes money off of this app. I didn't make any money, so I really didn't have anything. She would always complain to me about how she would buy everything, buy food, which I never asked her to do. She would always offer it, and I'd be like, oh, okay, let's do it. Because it would be her idea. I would never force her to do anything. I'm not a controlling type. I wouldn't make her, pay for anything. That's just, I wouldn't do that. After the LA trip, me and this influencer went to a Gigi Perez concert. I wish I could have enjoyed it more, but it was a great concert. At the end of the concert, we're driving back home. I'm on my phone in the car. I have my AirPods in because we had recently just not got along that day. Like, something with us just was not okay. I'm on my phone, and all I see is a hand reach over and grab my phone. I'm not trying to fight back because, one, I don't have anything to hide, and two, I just lost all energy. She then starts going through my messages with this other influencer. She is hopelessly straight, guys. And she texts this influencer off of my phone pretending it's me. She's saying things like how she's hyperventilating and throwing up over the fact that apparently I'm cheating on her with this other influencer, which just isn't true, guys. She then starts texting herself off of my phone to make it look like I'm texting her. She texts herself and says things like, I'm so bored with you, you annoy me, I'm not happy with you, I have more feelings for this other girl than I do with you, I have receipts if you guys really need them. So you get the gist, but she drops me back at my house, and I go inside. She has now locked the other influencer off of my phone, so I have no contact with her at all. She then tells me if I unblock this other influencer, she would not talk to me for the rest of my life. Okay, here's part 2. So the next day she comes over, we talk about a lot of things, and she is mad at me because I did end up unblocking the other influencer and telling her, hey, that's not me, I just wanted to let you know. That is all I said. That night I ended up breaking up with her for various reasons, but she ended up going home and we didn't talk the rest of the night or the day after until the night. That night, I check her location because she's saying she's somewhere else, but I know she's not where she's saying she is. I check her location and it's right outside my house. And I know she's doing something that she shouldn't be doing. So I go outside. It's 1 a.m., by the way. I walk out to her car where she is, and I look through the window and there's evidence of self-harm. I bring her inside and I immediately go to my mom and I'm like, I don't know how to help. I just want what's best for her. Yes, we have broken up, but I did still care. My mom had her stay the night with me, and my mom texted her dad, and her dad did not get back to us until like 10 in the morning. His reply to my mom's text was, in quotes, "Yikes, that looks bad." While she was spending the night, she said to me, I only did it because I want you to care for me one last time. She also had told Melina that she only did it because she wanted me to hold her in her arms one more time. Which, you don't do that. Like, that's just not, you don't do that. This whole time I'm in this relationship, I am being pressured to do things I don't want to do. I'll start off by saying I did not want to do anything sexual. If I didn't want to do anything sexual, she would cry and say, am I not pretty enough? Or am I not big enough? Do I need to lose weight? Like, what can I do for you? And no, you don't need to do any of that. I just did not want to do that. She manipulated me into thinking I had to do it, and if I didn't, then she wasn't pretty enough, and I felt guilty. After the whole breakup, she accused me of domestic violence. I would never do that. I wouldn't even lay a finger on somebody. I did end up DMing her ex-girlfriend, Allie Sloan, and we are now in contact, and we talk about the situation and stuff outside of the situation. That's all I'm going to say. If you guys have questions, please comment. I'll do my best to respond.
Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and address something about the Ashley Barnes situation because I did have a big following on one of my other accounts. A lot of you guys won't know me. I only had like 10K followers, but last year around like October, I did receive a DM from Ashley Barnes on TikTok, and I want to come on here and come clean about it since everybody else is. I don't know if this is relevant to the story or not. I'm sorry if I make anybody mad by saying this, but I just want to share my side of the story. Last year in October, Ashley Barnes had DM'd me on TikTok asking me like to collab with her. And she said I was, like, really cool and we should be friends. I have the screenshots. I'll put them in the next video I post. But later to come, she was texting me a lot of inappropriate things, asking me to do with her and this and that. I'm not the type of person. I don't do anything like that. So it was just really weird. And I'm trying to explain as best as I can, but I'm not really good at explaining things. So just let me read you what I wrote to read. And I just want to say I'm not speaking up for revenge. I'm not speaking up to be rude or be a part of this or get clout. I'm trying to spread awareness for things that happen with this situation and for people that get SA'd by people. I was in a vulnerable mental state at that time. I had just like got out of this really relationship, and she kind of was my safe haven at that point because she was the only person talking to me. So later to come, I didn't really say anything about these messages because I just thought she was my friend and she was trying to introduce me to all these new things. But I'll put the messages on the next video. Like I said previously, she was just like pressuring me, like, we should collab, we should do this, we should make TikToks, I have parties that we can go to, this, and that. And I was like, I'm not that type of person. You live really far away. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want people to think that's me. And then she was getting really mad about it. And that's kind of why we stopped talking, because I wouldn't engage with the bad things that she was doing, because that's not who I am. And I had set boundaries with her because she would start to get in ways. She would text me and be like, oh, you're so gorgeous, I wish you were my girlfriend, all this and all that. And I just felt really vulnerable with the whole situation. I was like, I'm not going that way. I am straight. I am this. I am that. Like, I don't do that stuff. I support it. Yes, I don't care about it. That's fine. But also, I was just really uncomfortable with the situation because I thought she was my friend. I didn't think she needed any more than that. But when it got to that point, I was just really vulnerable and I was really uncomfortable and I didn't know who to talk to or what to do. So I'm just on here trying to spread awareness. If you guys ever need help, DM me. If you guys need to know more, if you guys want me to post a part 2 explaining everything in detail, I will. Just please don't spread hate, spread positivity on the situation. I know she did a bunch of bad things, but just move on from it. Let her get her karma. Just be a better person. Don't be like her. Part 2 of my messages with Ashley Barnes. You guys all asked for it in the comments, so I'm just gonna try to explain as best as I can. I tried to recover the account that had everything on it and like more messages, but I couldn't. But I did find some old screenshots of me and her TikTok DMing each other. It may not be everything you guys asked for, but I'm telling you, it is still worth watching this just to spread the awareness of this. I couldn't find the messages that were concerning, but there is also messages of her kind of being inappropriate with me, and I'm gonna read those to you guys today. This is the day Ashley followed me on TikTok, and I screenshotted it because she had a big following, and I was confused because I only think I had like 9 or 10K at that time. Confused with all that because I was like, why is this creator following me on TikTok? And then I got a DM from her. I'll put the first messages that me and Ashley have ever said to each other on this. This is the first messages me and Ashley Barnes have ever talked to each other. She reached out to me and she said, hey girl, how are you? And I accepted the message because I was like, okay, she's wanting to get to know me. Okay, everything's fine. I said, hi, I'm good. How are you? She said, I'm great. I've been scrolling through your account and wow, you're seriously gorgeous. I just thought that was nice. I didn't think anything of it until this next thing. I hope this isn't too forward, but I was wondering, are you straight? And that's when I kind of took a step back and I was like, does she mean well? Is she just asking questions, or is this going to escalate to something I don't want it to be? And then she said, totally okay if not. I was just curious and kind of hoping you were, LOL. No pressure at all. Just had to shoot my shot. Sorry. And I was like, I didn't know how to feel in this situation because I've been reached out like that before by multiple non-creators, by non-influencers. So I just thought it was okay until the messages I can't recover had so much more stuff on them. I'm going to try to recover them for you guys, but like, I'm genuinely sorry I can't get the good things, but there's another screenshot after this one of the conversation after. This is the conversation that led on after the first screenshot you guys just seen. This is the first message and this is my response to it. I said, LOL, all good, but I'm straight, because I am. No hate to anybody that is not. I love all people, so I didn't have a problem with her asking that. I just thought it was weird how she put in the quotation marks, like, kind of hoping you were. But other than that, the next message she said to me was, LOL, okay, wait, random question, but do you? Or anything like that. I've just been feeling super alone lately and everyone's been so boring. I don't know, you just seem really cool and like someone I'd actually want to hang out with or maybe even collab. But it's totally okay if not. I get it. I just kind of felt like saying something before I chickened out. Okay guys, that was my experience with Ashley. I'm sorry if it was disappointing or anything like that. I just wanted to share my side since everybody was asking for it in the comments. But alongside from that, I just want to state that I am not trying to take any shine away from the creators that had contact in person with Ashley and were done terribly, and I am so sorry to those people. My condolences go out to you guys. I hope everything is going on. I hope you guys are healing. I hope everything is going okay for you guys. And that's all for today. And I just want to state one last thing. I don't want my content to be based off of this. I want to move past it and become a better person and move on from this. I do post Get Ready With Me's. I do post other things like that. So if you are interested, let me know down below. Bye, guys.
Hi, I'm Lila, and this is my Ashley Barnes story. My story isn't nearly as horrible as what happened to Ashley's victims, but I think maybe by sharing my story, it will shed more light on their stories. I'll be tagging all of them down below. Go watch their stories because I think that they deserve to be heard. Okay, so this was probably like a year or like over a year ago. And I'm not an influencer by any means. Like, I've never had a very large following on any of my accounts. I was on Theater Talk, and I had been following Ashley for a while, and one of my favorite musicals was Mean Girls, and she had just been in a production of one, and clips were surfacing all over the internet, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so good. So I just made a TikTok like saying how good she was. I only had a few thousand likes, but she saw it, she liked it, and then she followed me, and then she DM'd me. She's like, oh, like, thank you for saying all that, like, that was so nice of you. And I was like, yeah, of course, like, you're so talented. She was still trying to make more of a conversation with me, and obviously I'm not a mean person, and I had been following her for a while. So I was saying, randomly, she goes, by the way, you're so hot. Just randomly. I was like, oh. My spidey senses went off. I was like, okay, she has a girlfriend. Like, that's kind of weird. But I was like, oh, yeah, thanks. Like, you're pretty too. And thought I was just going to leave it at that. Then she asks for my Snap. I was like, oh, shit. Okay, no way. I am not trying to be in a Ashley Barnes cheating scandal. I knew she had a girlfriend. She barely knows me. I was like, no way. So after leaving her unopened, I thought that'd be it. But then she proceeded to comment on my TikTok, stuff like, oh my gosh, like, the stuff that you would comment to, like, your friends on Instagram, like, oh my gosh, you're so hot, like, marry me, whatever. But she was commenting that on my posts, and I'm not remotely friends with her. But I ended up kind of getting out of theater a little bit more, so I just turned the account into a personal account, and I was like, okay, like, I think that's it. Fast forward to August, I go on live with Izzy. She's like known, like, she's a TikToker, like, she's known for like her lip syncs and stuff. And I was just on there like giving lore about someone I liked at school. Well, I didn't even know that Ashley knew who Izzy was. I didn't know that. But after that live, after I got off of it, I got a DM on my Instagram from Ashley, and she was just trying to say hey or whatever. Mind you, still has a girlfriend at this time, from what I know. And I was like, girl, get away. So once again, I left her undelivered, and I was like, okay, that's it. Then the whole cheating scandal happened, and I came out with this story. And then a bunch of people just came and was like, you're lying. Like, Ashley would never do that. Like, she's so sweet. She would never do something like that. Here we are. So I ended up taking it down, but here I am telling it again.
Hi, this is my experience with Ashley Barnes. So I met her for the first time at Poultry's party last week, and also the Grove, which is basically a shopping center type thing that influencers will go to and hang out with before the parties. So I'm sure you've heard Capri say like, oh, she was doing a lot of taking people to the bathroom and like bringing them back. And yeah, that is what she does. So when she entered the Grove, mind you, she entered the Grove looking very upset. She did text us that she was going to be a little late, which I was like, okay, sure. Like, I can't wait to meet you, because I did truly relate to her in a lot of different ways. And so she comes in, she immediately like finds the group, finds us, and starts asking, okay, can one of you guys come to the bathroom with me? I don't think that's odd. Like, first time meeting her, she probably just wants someone to come to the bathroom with her. Like, that's not odd to me. So of course I tell her like, okay, well, the nearest bathroom is here. And she asked me like 10 times. Okay, so as soon as we all say like, yeah, sure, we'll go with you, she grabs one girl and runs. Like, we're all in a group, we're all like following behind her, but she grabs one person and like zooms to the bathroom. I was not the girl that went to the bathroom with her individually, but my heart goes out to whoever did. Anyways, now Paul's. Okay, fast forward to Paul's party a couple hours later. I'm talking with my friends, and she like randomly comes from behind and grabs my waist, kind of like pulls me in, and I turn around, I'm shooken, and I say like, "Oh, hi," because I've never talked to her before, like, minus the whole bathroom thing. Like, I just helped her to see where the bathroom was. Like, I didn't think she knew my name or anything. And I'm like, "Oh, hi," and then she's like, "Hi," and then she starts complimenting my body, and till now, I didn't think this was weird until I saw Sky's story, and Sky and my story are, like, oddly similar, which made me go off. My story is obviously, like, not a whole lot, but it does go to show that she will, like, do this to anybody, like someone she just met or someone she barely knows. So it's like, just be careful who you're talking to, who you associate with, because you never really know who these people are. I should also mention that she was like looking very upset when she entered the grove, and she looked very much so in a rush. She did text me that like she was gonna be running a little late, and I was like, "Oh, okay, like it's fine, I can't wait to meet you." And it's just a terrible feeling because I did really look up to her and like relate to her in a lot of ways. And yeah, my heart goes out to all of her other victims, and I just pray that you find the strength to share your story because it is important and no story goes unheard.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Samantha, and I want to talk about Ashley Barnes. If you guys know the whole situation that happened with Ashley, and if you haven't watched Brad's videos, go watch them. It explains everything that happened, and if you did watch his videos, you know that he did a collab the day after, and I was that collab. So I was with him at the hotel when we saw the drawer, I was with Ashley when we ran away from her, everything. I want to do a rundown and explain all of my interactions with Ashley and kind of add on to this. So I'm going to go back to when I first met Ashley, which was at the Glow House party. It was the day after, and we were at brunch with a bunch of people. I was one person away from Ashley the entire time, and I talked to her a little bit. She seemed really nice. I really liked her. We went to the bathroom. Nothing happened, but it was really nice. We took a cute picture together. Everything was fine. I left leaving while Ashley is so sad. Then, not too long ago, Brad texted me saying he's coming to California. I live in California, and we want to hang out. So we plan to meet up. We plan for me to Uber to LA. He'll pick me up, and we'll spend the day, me, him, and Ashley. Everything was fine until the day of. Brad texted me saying something happened. He won't tell me what. He called me, and I didn't see it, but he seemed really worried. I didn't know what's happened. I was like, Brad, like, should I even come? Like, he's saying something really bad happened. I didn't know what happened. And this is like an hour before I was leaving, not even. He picks me up, and there's no Ashley. It's just him and her roommates. I'm like, okay, it's about Ashley. We get in the car, and they tell me everything that happened. Everything in Brad's videos. Like, I was in shock. The whole situation just caught me really off guard, and as they're telling me, we're on the way to the hotel because Brad has to pack his bags because he does not feel comfortable staying with Ashley another night. We get to the hotel, we're packing up Brad's stuff, and then that's when they find the drawer that you guys all saw. All this stuff, there was like a belt hanging by the bed. It was really weird. There was weird stuff everywhere. There was alcohol in the everything Brad said was true. I saw it. Brad was like really freaking out because we're supposed to meet up with Ashley and make videos with her, but obviously like we don't want to do that. Where we drop off the roommates and Brad's bags, and then we go to pick up Ashley. On our way, we come up with a plan just to be like, okay, like we're gonna pretend like we like each other and we want to go for a walk, kind of feel things out, and then just not come back. Basically like ditching Ashley. We get to the hotel, do the ballet, where we walk in, we're like looking at each other. Brad's saying something to me and I can't understand what he's saying, and I'm like, my heart was racing. Like I was so scared. We get to the elevator and Brad's like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. She was like, oh, there's one like upstairs. He like looked at me and I was like, well, you might as well just go since we're down here. And then she was like, okay. And then I was like, honestly, I have to go to the bathroom too, so I'm just gonna go with him. Go up the stairs, and like Brad said, she followed us. We hide behind a wall, and we wait for her to be gone, and then we run down the stairs, and we walk to the mall. And that's when Brad called her dad and stuff and talked to her. And then me and Brad just went to the mall and did our collaborations. We're just making TikToks and walking around. And then eventually Brad did call Ashley, and then if you want to know about that, just watch his videos. He tells it better than I would. Want to know like any of the smaller details, go to Brad's account. I'll tag him, watch his videos. He explains everything. That was the whole situation that kind of happened from my point of view. And the next interaction I had with her was at Paul's party after the fact. So she knew that I knew. I just can't stand the thought of someone not liking me because of something, and I just want to clear the air and always be on good terms with everyone. And I wanted to apologize to Ashley for running away. So it's the end of Paul's party. Everyone's kind of getting ready to leave. I see her and I go up to her and I'm like, hey Ashley, like I just want to apologize for everything that happened the other day. I was so scared, like I was stuttering and I was like, my mind was rambling, like I didn't know what to say. And then Ashley just proceeded to tell me that she didn't remember what happened, but then she remembered the things that me and Brad did to her. So I'm like, how can you forget everything you did but remember everything me and Brad did? Like, oh, I don't remember, like I have no idea what you're talking about. But she goes, yeah, but I was just like waiting in the room for you guys, like I don't know why you guys didn't come. But yeah, no, I don't remember anything. Like, it was going back and forth between that, and I was like, okay, so you remember or you not remember? Like I don't understand. I went to hug her and she literally was like this. Like she had her arms crossed and she just like leaned forward for the hug, so I'm like hugging her and she's not hugging back, which I thought was so weird. And then I just walked away and I was like, that was weird. And then I saw Brad's videos and everyone talking about it. The thing she did was truly disgusting and there's zero excuse for it. I do hope she receives help because I genuinely do think she needs it and she is troubled. Also, thank you to all of the victims of Ashley for coming out and talking about it to the public and spreading awareness. I truly am so sorry for anyone who has had a situation with Ashley Barnes. Bye guys, I love you. Stay safe.
Alright, so as a lot of you guys know, there's a lot going on online right now with Ashley Barnes, and I've hung out with her 2 times, and I just wanted to speak about my experience with Ashley Barnes. So before we get deep into the video, I'd like to say I don't think I'm a victim. She hasn't done anything to me, and I'm not trying to victimize myself. I'm simply just speaking about the situation, and giving my experience with it. Alright, so I originally met Ashley about 2 weeks ago, at an after party for Mackenzie Brooks' show. There's a bunch of influencers over Mackenzie Brooks' house. We were all hanging out. Nothing too like out of the blue happened. I remember we were like sitting on the staircase. I remember her talking about heavy drugs. And I was just kind of like, whoa, like, huh? But she was talking about like Adderalls. I believe she was talking about, and then obviously like, you know, smaller drugs, like things like that. But yeah, I will say it definitely seemed like something was slightly off about her, not only with the drugs thing, just in general her vibe kind of like gave me that like anyways, fast forward to the second time we met, which was about 3 or 4 nights ago at another influencer party. There was an influencer birthday party hosted, and it was kind of at this like Airbnb, nice Airbnb, cool. She was one of the first few people to arrive along with myself. We did arrive separately, like we didn't come in the same car. But I saw her and I was like, okay, well I've seen her at another influencer party, like we're mutuals on TikTok, so like I'll, you know, go talk to her. So I went to talk to her, we made some TikToks. She did say something about how she was like supposed to be in rehab, that she's off of Adderalls now. I don't know, like, and I would just like to add in, because I forgot to mention this part, and I'm not going to name this other influencer, but she was saying something towards the end of the party about how she needs to stop by her house because she owes some other influencer these drugs. That's like the most of our conversation from that segment of the influencer party. I will say I do believe she might have been drinking again at that party. And this isn't really my story to tell, but my friend doesn't really want to speak on it just because she doesn't want to like harm anyone or anything. But I will say that she asked another one of my friends to go to her car with her, and she was making some weird comments about honey packs and things like that. And my friend said she pulled one out of her purse, asking her like if she's ever taken one. Anyways, nothing else really happened that night between me and her. She got me added on Snap, so like she asked for my Snap, we took a picture together, and that like basic stuff. Now, one thing I do find absolutely sickening is that in Brad's video, you can see that her dad is stating that she's flown back home from LA to go to rehab, and unfortunately rehab isn't a 3-day activity. So you don't just go for 3 days and then suddenly you're okay and suddenly you're fixed. And she was at this influencer party. She was also at Paul's party. So, I mean, if she did fly back home, she flew back home for a day or 2, maybe 3, and then came right back to LA to enjoy her time there. Now, like I said, I do just find this sick because she knows everything she's done to these people. and she didn't care. She continued to hang out with other influencers. She continued making TikToks with people, and she continued living her life like it was a normal life, knowing the things that she had done to people, which I just find absolutely mind-blowing. Anyways, fast forward to the end of the night. She was taking some people home before she like went home herself, is what she was saying. I didn't get in the car with her. She was being kind of pushy on me and my other friend that like I came with, riding with her, but we didn't go with her. We ended up going to another after party. So I don't really know if she was maybe gonna make, I don't know if she maybe made slick comments or weird comments in the car with those other people, or what happened during that car ride, but I do just overall find it absolutely mind-blowing that she's told me that she's out of rehab or supposed to be at rehab. And it all like flew past my mind, to be quite honest with you. Like, I didn't really think anything of it in the time. Like, I was just like, oh, okay. Like, anyways, that's really my experience with Ashley Barnes. Nothing really too crazy. Nothing, I would say, too out of the blue. There was definitely some weird comments and things like that made. But I do know a lot of you were asking, like, hey, what happened with you and Ashley? Are you and Ashley friends? And that's another thing I'd like to say. Me and Ashley were never friends. We were only mutuals. Like, I've literally just seen this girl at 2 influencer parties and made TikToks with her this last influencer party. But that basically concludes the video. Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Echo. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a singing influencer here on TikTok. And I usually don't make this kind of video, but I wanted to come on and share my personal feelings and experiences only. I'm not going to name names. This is not meant to cancel anyone. I just saw someone speak out about this today and I realized I wasn't alone. So I just wanted to come on here and share my side of the story. So a while back, I became friends with this creator who had a pretty big following, and we met through a show we were in together. And at first I thought she was very cool, very talented. And honestly, I felt very bad for some of the stuff she had gone through in her life. I think a lot of people in her life felt bad for her. And I'm not saying that in a judgmental way. I'm just saying that it began to become an excuse for behavior that wasn't okay. So the first red flag for me was a game of truth or dare. We were in a small group, but the game got really weird really fast. People were being asked super uncomfortable questions, clothing was being asked to come off, and I remember feeling super uncomfortable, but I didn't grow up in an environment where I had played those games before, so I guess I thought it was normal and I was overreacting, so I felt like I had to play to fit in. During this game, she asked us to hide our phones. She made us turn all of them off so we couldn't record or like take photos of anything. Didn't want to be a buzzkill, and she was laughing and making it seem like it was normal, and so I just didn't say anything because I didn't know if it would be an overreaction. And we went on this trip together, and we were staying in the house with a few friends and her partner at the time, and I remember noticing that she was being very pushy with her partner, but I didn't want to say anything because I felt like that wasn't my place and I didn't want to start any drama. At the beginning of the trip, we had a miscommunication with some of the plans and she got really upset with me. Even though I apologized, I felt like I was walking on eggshells with her most of the time. I felt like everyone had to be on her side. She kept saying it was her trip, and she would either get really passive aggressive or ice people out if they didn't do things how she wanted them done. First night of the trip, we were all filming content together by the pool in the house. We had all just gone swimming. We were in bathing suits, and she wanted to film this TikTok where I would flirt with her partner and she would flirt with her friend, so it would be messy and do well, and like it would look like we were cheating. And I immediately told her that not only was I uncomfortable with what I was wearing, but I was uncomfortable making the video, and I have text proof of that. She didn't confirm that she wasn't going to post the video, so the text is from the next morning of me asking her not to post it and saying that I wasn't comfortable with that. But the night of, she was just laughing and saying, oh no, just like no one will care, like just tell your mom, like it's just a joke, like my fans will just get it's a joke. That same night we were playing truth or dare again, and similar questions were coming up and similar dares were coming up, and I felt very pressured to do some stuff I didn't want to do. One of the questions asked was for me to kiss her partner. I immediately remember questioning why she would be okay with that, like your friend kissing your partner while you're dating them, and she just laughed it off and was like, no, it's just a game, like it's normal. So we went through with the dare, and she said she wasn't looking and she had us do it again. And I pulled her partner aside that night, and we both agreed that we were super uncomfortable with the situation that we were put into. But again, we both didn't know if we were overreacting because we didn't have a lot of experience playing these kinds of games, and we didn't know if it was normal like she was telling us it was. But later her friend pulled me aside and told me that she had been in a very similar situation once, and that made me feel less alone. but still I felt like it was an overreaction because we just kept moving on with the trip. On the last day of the trip, we threw a little party at our house and we had some friends over, and her partner and I had worked very hard to set up the party and make sure everything was calm and no one was upset about anything. And so when everyone decided they wanted to go to another party after ours, we decided that we didn't want to go because we didn't want to deal with the drinking or the chaos, and we just wanted to stay home and relax. I also was going to stay home because I had a flight very early in the morning and I wasn't trying to be out late. And the second everyone left, her partner kind of opened up to me about how mistreated and exhausted she was feeling, and that's all we did. We just talked, and I tried to keep the mood light. Like, we cooked in the kitchen, we ate brownies, we watched Try Not to Laugh, and then we went to bed and nothing happened. Woke up the next morning and everything was fine. I woke up pretty early from my flight and the creator walked in and I was like, oh, are you going to the gym? She's like, no, I just got home from the party. And I remember being a little like, oh, like, why'd you get home so late? And she was like, oh, I was drinking, but I'm not telling my partner. And I just remember everyone was like a little tense because of that situation. Like, the partner overheard it and they began fighting over that. So I stayed in touch with everyone. I flew home, everyone else flew home, and then things began to get a lot more tense. I stayed in touch with her partner, who was very exhausted, very emotionally drained, and all of a sudden I got a text that the creator was accusing me and her partner of being together. I am hopelessly straight. Now you guys know what happened in the house while the creator was out of the party. Nothing happened, but I've read before about psychological projection. When someone does something bad, they accuse their partner of doing the same thing to kind of take the blame off of them or make them feel better about what they did. And I think that at the party, something happened that led her to accuse me and her partner of being together. Or that's just my opinion. That's not a proven fact. So eventually the accusations led to a very tense situation and a very messy breakup. I didn't take sides. I wanted to stay out of it. I wasn't involved in it in any way. And I asked the creator directly, please keep my name out of anything public. She promised she wouldn't, but I definitely had zero trust in what she said. The breakup dragged on for weeks. I kept hearing that she was threatening to post things to, quote, ruin me. She allegedly took her partner's phone and had made fake screenshots that she was going to post. And I cannot explain to you the fear that I felt knowing that someone with a big platform was going to use that to lie and try and ruin me over a situation that didn't happen. I felt like I had to constantly check in, reassure her that I wasn't taking sides, apologize for things I hadn't even done just so she would keep my name out of things publicly. And honestly, I think it was probably the most mentally exhausted and stressed I've ever been in my life. Eventually, I stopped reaching out, I stopped engaging with her, I just made sure that I wasn't involved and that I wouldn't be dragged into any public drama that was obviously going down. I felt like I couldn't speak up about the situation because I knew how easily she could turn hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people against me, and I didn't want to deal with that. The reason I'm coming on here to talk about this is that I saw another creator post about it, being forced into situations they didn't want to be in, and I realized that I wasn't alone. I don't want clout, I don't want to cancel anyone, I just want to say that I think this creator should step off of social media and seek genuine mental and professional help. Social media pressure, views, followers, how your video is going to do doesn't excuse pushing people's boundaries and making people do things that they don't feel comfortable doing. However, I feel like I'm not the only person who's experienced this, but I feel like this creator has such a forgiving fan base and is using her trauma to justify her mistreatment of different people. I just want to say, if you ever think that you're overreacting in a situation where you're uncomfortable, you're entitled to your feelings and you're definitely not overreacting. Don't be afraid to speak up. Thank you so much for listening. Love you guys so much.
You guys have probably seen Brad's videos, but we are here to talk about our side of the story and basically add the details that are missing.
Starting off, Ash told us that she was gonna fly her friend Brad out. So he came in, we met him on July 5th that night when he flew in. And the next day, she basically asked us, like, oh, do you guys want to come, like, to our hotel and, like, chill? So flash forward a little bit, we start heading out to the hotel at about, like, literally around 12 a.m., July 7th. I think that's, like, Monday morning. And while we're on the way there, Brad's driving, and she's telling us, like, oh, like, one of my influencer friends is going to be there. He's super famous. All this stuff, kind of like, don't take any pictures of him. We're like, bro, we don't care that much, but whatever.
And in his story time, he shared a screenshot of how she got him to come, and she was saying something weird.
Yeah, it was like, she said that 2 of her friends were going on a 2-man and that Brad wanted his huzz. So I'm assuming the huzz would have been Fizzy, and then the two friends going on a two-man were supposed to be me and our friend Alicia, but that is not freaking true at all. Sorry, I don't know if I can cuss, but
she told me to come, and especially she asked me beforehand to stay later because Gigi wanted to leave. That was clear.
Yeah,
like,
I had been stated I was gonna leave early.
Yeah, and so she told me like, oh, please stay later at night so I won't be alone with two guys. I don't know, it's like awkward, blah blah. So that was what we knew.
So we get to the hotel, we're all chilling and stuff, and Ash is like, oh, I gotta go get my friend. So she leaves, and Brad starts kind of like expressing to us that like he kind of he's not super comfortable with like shipping content and doing stuff like that. So yeah, we had that kind of in the back of our heads. Like, we didn't take it like too serious, but we were just talking to him about it, regular conversation.
Yeah.
And
he mentioned that in his videos
Yeah.
as well, that he had a conversation with me. Because I had to film some content of them, and he was visibly uncomfortable, and I was also kind of
weirded out.
Kind of shocked, like, what Ashley wanted him to do. She was basically almost kissing him, like hugging him, telling him like, oh, grab me by the waist here, do this, do that, only for the pictures, for the clout, to get shipping content,
because it would do better or whatever.
And he definitely didn't want to do that.
Yeah. So we get to the hotel about like 12:30, and Capri gets there like not too long after. It's normal vibes, we're all chilling, whatever. And flash forward to like 1:30, I'm like, I have to go. It's getting late. And Ash is on like a different level. We're all pretty like chill.
We're all fine.
But
But she was definitely already drinking.
I'm like, I need to use the restroom before I leave. So I'm like walking to the restroom. She like kind of rushes behind me. She's like, me and Sissy need to come in with you. I'm like, okay. So we're all in the bathroom, and she starts saying like, she starts basically begging Zizzy to get with Brad so that she could get with Capri. And we're like, what? Because we had just spoken to Capri. He's showing us a matching tattoo with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, what? So I'm like, does he not have a girlfriend? Like, what are you talking about? And she's trying to tell us like, oh no, like their relationship is fake. It's for the views. Like, it's influencer stuff. Like, basically, like, it was giving the vibe like, you just don't understand us. Like, you don't understand.
She was like, trust me, I'm Pepper's best friend.
Yeah.
Trust me. It is all promo. It is all fake.
Yeah. So we're like confused because what? Like,
mind you, the day before, like when she started introducing Brad to all of us, she immediatly told me Brad is off limits.
Yeah.
I was like,
so it's like, how are you gonna switch up
fine.
And say like, get with Brad, please, begging, get with Brad.
And it was getting weird. I was like, I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
I won't do this. Like, I don't care about you and Capri, if that's fake, if that's not fake. I don't care. I'm just not gonna do anything. So I was like, hell no. I'm not doing anything. And she was starting to lie about him and saying like, oh no, you don't understand, like, he's such a good guy. He is a good guy, but she was like, he's such a good guy, saying details about him. I'm not gonna say them now, but details that weren't true. So it started being weird, and I was arguing with her, like saying like, I'm not doing anything. That's weird. I don't know. I don't want to. So she was trying to like get me to do something. She was like, I can turn off the lights. You just do something. Like, he won't touch you. He's such a good guy. Like, you can just like make out a little bit, like just for us to do that. And she was also presenting it like it was a plan.
Yeah.
She was telling us that her and Capri basically came together
like,
to
like
do
Capri
something.
came to do something with her. Like, that was the vibe. Like, she was
Two-man.
Yeah, like she was making it seem like he wanted this.
That was their plan.
Yeah.
And I just had to be there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know if Brad was in on it or who was in on it, but I just said I don't want to do it, and she was like, well, you have to. I had this whole thing planned out, like, if you don't want to sleep with him, you can just like turn off the lights, we'll be on this bed, you have to be on this bed.
She's like planning this out, like this is premeditated, like she brought Zizzy here for this reason.
Okay. It feels like literally everyone in my comment section is asking for an Ashley Barnes story time, so here's what I'm supplying. Me and her were kind of on and off friends. 2023 is when we first started like talking and stuff. We stopped talking after that for whatever reason. We just didn't talk for I don't know how long. After her and Allie broke up is when we started talking again. And when the whole Gia thing happened, we also were like talking during that. As a lot of you guys know, I went to the Grammys. She was going to come with me to the not to the Grammys necessarily. I was trying to get her a ticket to the Grammys. I did everything in my power. And she decided, well, she already had her plane ticket to California and everything. And she said that even if she didn't go to the Grammys, it was fine. We were just going to make a trip out of it, and she was going to hang out with me and go to the after party, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. She then decided the day I got there to cancel her trip because for whatever reason. And, yeah. No, I was supposed to be staying with her. I was supposed to be staying with her at her uncle's house in LA for the rest of my trip, for the remainder of my trip. The remainder of my trip was 4 days. So I didn't have anywhere to stay. So she took it upon herself, which I'm grateful for, to book me a hostel. And if you don't know what a hostel is, it's where you share a hotel room with 4 other random strangers. So no, I had to get ready with 4 random strangers. They were all like, who the fuck is this bitch getting ready for the fucking Grammys? And it was really fucking weird. There's a lot more stuff she's done, but I don't really feel the need to get into that right now. I do have receipts. But, yeah. I don't really want to put myself in the Savannah and Ashley situation, but there are lies going on about that you guys do not know. So, just wanted to put that out there. And I've heard a little bit of both sides of the story. There was also a time in my life when I was 17 years old and she was 15 years old that I thought I had a crush on her. That was not true. I did not, in fact, have a crush on her. I just thought she was pretty, and a lot of people would get that stuff mixed up. And I was almost 18, so that's why I do understand the point where that might be weird for some people. This is not an excuse, but I am autistic. My brain level and whatever maturity, whatever you want to call it, is, in fact, usually 2 years younger than I actually am. So I tend to relate to people on a younger level than me. One of my best friends, ex-best friends, because of our own personal stuff, she is currently 17 years old. So I do relate to the 17-year-old thing quite a bit. And whether you think that's weird or creepy, that's up to you to decide. I don't really care either way. I know my boundaries, and I'm not going to date someone younger than me, nor have a crush on someone younger than me at this point in my life. If I'm going to date someone, they're going to be 20 and above. Also, I'm going to put this out there. You guys really should listen to Gia about a lot of stuff. And if Savannah ever comes out with her story, I'll be the first one to listen. All I know is there is definitely manipulation tactics going on, gaslighting tactics, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And she's young, I give her that. She's still learning, but she is not someone I choose to be around anymore. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. I will answer them as best as I can. And there's other stuff that I might come out on, but I don't know at this moment.
Hello. Okay, basically everyone online is like ranting about this Ashley Barnes situation with Capri and Brad something. I don't fucking know. I'm not like keeping up with the Glow House type shit. Like, I'm not on TikTok like that, but yeah. So basically, I thought I would come on and share my story with Ashley Barnes because, like, I was going to before, but I was like, no one's gonna believe me. Like, this bitch is like, has like 3 million followers. Like, why would I do that, you know? But I thought right now was the perfect opportunity to do so because, like, everyone's sharing their stories, so great. Okay, this is not like a deep story either. It's just like more evidence that she should not be like a TikToker and she should not be like influencing people, like especially like younger people. Like, you know, she just shouldn't have that kind of platform. Okay, basically, I don't know the dates of when this happened, but if you guys keep up with her Snapchat story, she posted her getting pizza in Connecticut. So that's when this was. I don't know when that was, but that's when this was. So basically, I like live in Connecticut part-time. I guess like mostly full-time. I don't fucking know, but I do live in Connecticut. Like, that's where I go to school. But yeah. So she went to Connecticut, and prior to her going to Connecticut, she was like DMing one of my friends. I'm not friends with her anymore because she moved, but one of my old friends, like, she was DMing her like, oh, I would leave Savannah for you. And this one, she was dating Savannah, she was like, oh, I would leave Savannah for you, like, I would do all this, blah 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 blah. Like, you know, some freaky shit, like, fuck. Anyways, so yeah. And so she DM'd my friend that, and they met up when she was in Connecticut. And there's like photo evidence of this, like, it got posted on Reddit. I don't know. There's like TikToks about it. But yeah. And when like this whole thing like happened, this was like all my friend group was talking about, because like my friend that she was DMing was part of my friend group when this happened, so that's like all anyone was talking about. So I found out this from like a bunch of my friends, because like maybe my friends were like, holy shit, this is like someone famous. She's not really famous, but like, you know what I mean. So yeah, we all thought it was like insane. And then yeah, that's basically it. Anyways, back to the story. So she scooped one of my friends while she was in Connecticut. And they went to this like beach in my town. And yeah, and they had themselves like giddy old time. Like, so yeah, I don't know. Just like cheating on your girlfriend is like kind of crazy, to be honest. Especially if like you have that type of platform to be like influencing other people. I don't know, just kind of crazy. But yeah, that's my cupcake little story. If you want like pictures of like them in the car together or whatever the fuck, what else? I don't know if I have the texts between them. I can probably find them, but yeah, I hope this helps. Hello. Okay, I thought I would come on here and address a lot of my comments. There seems to be like a lot of misunderstandings with the video I posted about Ashley Barnes. Okay, I've said this like 1,000 times, but I'm still getting the comments. First of all, I'm not a victim, and neither is my friend in like any kind of way. Like, my old friend did this voluntarily. Like, Ashley didn't like force her to do anything, whatever. Okay, so that's number one. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about was, like, I'm not doing this for clout. Like, why as fuck? But like, the story's 100% true. Like, none of it's a lie. There are some things I excluded from the story because like it's just like details I didn't know. Like, Ashley was like using my old friend's house and like treating it kind of like a hotel, but that's besides the point. But yeah, I also hate to drag this on for so long because like it was one video and then I had to make like other videos, and this is like my 4th video I'm making about it, so it's like, stop. And like, I guess that is part my fault because like I did post the video and I should have expected like people like twisting it, but yeah. I've also received like DMs and comments about how I'm hating on Brad. I'm not hating on Brad. That was never my intention to do so. I just didn't know his last name because like I said in the video, I'm not like an avid TikToker. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks.
Okay, hi guys. So I thought I would share my experience with Ashley Barnes. So, if everything going on right now, my story is so different from all those victims and everyone that was affected by her in that situation. My situation is completely different. This is just my story. Okay. Basically, one day, I always knew she was kind of weird, quite frankly, because I knew it was very bizarre that she seeks so much attention from her, like, young fans, like, her young audience. It was really weird to me. Because it wasn't raising an awareness. There's a difference between raising an awareness and just plain attention seeking, and it was kind of obvious if you're sobbing in front of the camera for relatable content, you just want attention. And basically, so she was sobbing in front of camera. This is after she had cheated on Savannah multiple times. I'm pretty sure. I don't really know. Don't quote me on that. But I do know for a fact she was really annoying me, so I told her she had crusty hands. I commented on her TikTok, and I said, you have crusty hands. Calm down. It's not that big of a deal. Like, something like that. I had proof. And she had a full fucking factory meltdown. Guys, I would say it again. Her hands were fucking crusty. She was being overly dramatic. I don't really care. I don't give a shit. Never gave a shit. I just said it again. Her hands were crusty. Point blank. No, it wasn't nice. But what's ironic, in the reply video she made to me, she said, it costs nothing to be kind. Baby, it costs nothing to drug your fucking friends. But anyways, so we were kind of beefing, I guess. Never met her. I'm not an influencer. I've gone viral a couple times. Not for the best reasons. Not for, like, anything like that, but you know what I mean? Like, embarrassing stuff. Not nearly as much of a platform as her, as you can tell. But yeah. I basically told her she had crusty hands, and she replied to me saying how I wasn't cute, and that she wasn't seeking attention, and that it was a very serious issue that she had crusty hands. And then now she's going on saying that she was misdiagnosed with her crusty hand condition or something. I don't really know. And she says she was on the wrong medication for months, which kind of is really hard to get, because I get getting misdiagnosed, but getting put on her medication for 3 months. They usually do checkups. Like, pharmacists do checkups every 2 weeks. And if she had noticed such side effects, why didn't she say something sooner? She's using that to cover up her actions for fucking groping her friends. Oh, and her fucking, like, friends and her fans sent me death threats, which I have messages of. Okay, that's my story. Bye, guys. I'm really not sorry for calling her and saying that she had crusty hands, but I'm very sorry for all the victims of Ashley Barnes, because, yeah.
So we went to go talk to Gio, and he said, yeah, I'm hosting an after party. You guys can come if you want. And we said, okay, whatever. And then me and her, we went over to this dance floor. There was no one there. There was just a DJ, and then it was us two, and we were dancing and stuff. And it was really loud, so I told her, I have a really bad cold right now. And I was, like, laughing, because I thought it was more of a joke. Like, I thought it was kind of just, like, funny. Like, I don't believe in TMI personally, so I told her, and then she looked me up and down, and she said, I can fix that, and she put her hand on my crotch. And I immediately started getting a weird feeling in my stomach, but I didn't really consider how bad it really was. I just thought maybe she was trying to be funny. I didn't take it personal, which I probably should have. I probably should have told someone. There was security there. I don't know why I didn't say anything to them. But after that happened, I still really did not think much of it, because I was still in the headset, this is good for my account. This is good for me. This is going to get me more connections, more views, more friends. Like, I didn't think about what was really happening. And that's what another thing is. I really feel like she took advantage of the fact that I was a smaller creator, because she asked a bunch of other smaller creators too to go to the bathroom with her, and I just happened to be the one that said yes. But we already talked about that. So after that, we went to go find Melina and Luca, and at this point, keep in mind, she says, I'm so excited to get drunk tonight. I'm already high. I'm having such a good time. And me and Melina look over at her and we're like, aren't you supposed to be staying sober? Because at this time, what she told me, because I knew she was supposed to be staying sober, and so I asked her, like, hey, are you supposed to be, because I thought she was supposed to be staying sober. She says she's only supposed to be staying sober from alcohol, and I obviously believed her, because she is good at lying. So me and Melina started talking to her, and we were like, no, you're not doing any of that. You're not drinking. Absolutely not. But since it was our first time meeting, she didn't really listen to me, obviously. So Melina decided to pull her aside for about 30 minutes, I would say, and talk to her about why she should not do it. And when I was there, I was walking around waiting for her when that was happening. I didn't really realize or understand what was happening. I was kind of overwhelmed with the whole experience. So after they finished talking, I went over and I was like, hey, are you okay? What happened? Like, is everything okay? She was like, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to go tonight because my roommates said they don't want any company, and also because of what Melina was telling me, I don't think it's a good idea for me to go. And I was like, okay, that's completely understandable. I'm really glad you're choosing this path and you're deciding not to go and break your sobriety. And so I decided I was going with my friend Macy instead. So I left the party at around 11:30, and we went back to Macy's hotel room. We got ready, all of that. And I would say we got to the after party at around 12 o'clock. And I was there, I was just talking to people, I was talking to Gio, I was talking to everyone there. And I was having a really good time until I see Ashley Barnes walking in. And I'm a little like, huh? A little confused because she was just saying prior how she was not going. And so I went up to her and I was like, I gave her a hug and I was like, hi, how are you? I didn't know you're coming. I thought you said you're staying home. And she was like, oh, and for reference, her words were slurred. She was like, oh, I wanted to come now. I changed my mind. I don't really care about what Melina has to say. All of this stuff. And then I noticed she had a bag with her. And in this bag, she had unprescribed. And she was attempting to hand it out to people. She attempted to give it to me as well. I'm so grateful I did not take it. I would never take it. But she was asking people if they wanted some. I'm not sure if she took any herself, because I left the party early. But I did know she brought it. I also have a video. My friend Macy sent me the video of her. And this was later in the party once everyone had basically left. And nobody else in this video was drinking, and nobody there was drinking either. It was just only her. And the messages between Brad and the other creator, the DM, was with me and him. And the video that he received of the water was from me. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't, go on his account, you can go look at it really quickly and then come back. But that happened. I didn't really talk to her much after that, but every once in a while when I did, she was very touchy with me, and it was making me very uncomfortable. So I tried to keep my distance from her. And so after all of that, I left and I went to sleep. And the next morning I woke up and I just was hit with a really strong feeling of guilt and why did I let this happen? I was too scared to say anything though, because this is a bigger influencer. This girl could literally ruin my reputation, ruin my life, if she really wanted to. So that next day she texted me and she was asking to hang out and all this stuff. And I texted her like, hey, I don't know if I can. And I'm glad I didn't either. But I had this lingering on my mind for the past few days, and when I just finally decided to say something, it's because I saw so many other creators speaking up about it, and it made me feel more comfortable and able to. I thought I should also mention that there's no ill intent in anything that I am saying. I am not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or get anyone in trouble. I am just saying all of this because I want justice, and I want all these other people to get their justice as well. Because I know of a few influencers who are still afraid to speak on it that had similar experiences. But what happened to me was not okay. I was trying to justify it to myself. I was trying to tell myself, you're just being dramatic, it's fine. But I've really realized this is not okay. I need to do something about this. And I hope you guys can understand and accept and see my side of the story. And you guys will all still support me, I guess. But I love you guys all so much, and thank you all for all of the support you guys are giving me. It truly does mean the world to me. You guys have gotten me through this. Ever since this all happened, I've been struggling with some thoughts, and I've been even considering acting on them because of how hurtful and stressed this all is. So thank you guys truly, because you guys are the reason I've gotten through this. I love you guys so much. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me.